Good, everybody, it's the Wave, and we back with another reaction video. So today, man, unless you've been living under a rock, I'm sure everybody been seeing the LeBron James and Stephen A. Smith controversy, but I haven't quite watched the interview with him and Pat McAfee. I'm a fan of Pat McAfee for sure, but I'm definitely, first take more prone to watch that. But I thought it was interesting, LeBron going onto this show, being that this comes right on after First Take. But I'm definitely ready to see like what they get into. I do want to start off with this video saying I don't own any rights. I just did a reaction video that was taken down by YouTube. I'm a little upset about that. So with this reaction video, it's definitely gonna be a little different. I'm probably gonna stop a little bit between just to maybe pinpoint certain things instead of trying to talk over, instead of just letting the video play all the way through. So don't get too annoyed with that. Definitely, watch to the end. Make sure to continue to like and subscribe. Comment some of y'all favorite moments or what y'all think about the beef between LeBron and Stephen A. I personally don't like it. I definitely feel like, of course, I'm gonna go there, just two prominent like black males and the industries that they in. This should be handled a lot better, like especially when they get into the point and they talking about putting their hands on one another or just going there. Like, that's whack, man. And we already know who's looking at that and laughing. So let's do better for sure. But I mean, for entertainment purposes, we're definitely gonna get into the interview. And yeah, let's start it.
GOAT. And I would say child stars, okay? Nobody ever talks about that. Been famous since a teenager. Basketball, obviously. In life as a whole, fucking dominating through and through. Just a kid from Akron, ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James. LeBron James!
I appreciate it, man. Definitely been seeing you guys up in here, man. So it's great to come here and be in the studio with you guys.
I told you, as soon as you pulled up out there, I walked outside.
This was
Black
big,
SUV
though,
pulls
to
up,
get
turns
LeBron
around,
for
your
like
door opens.
an hour and a half.
literally
You
go,
gotta salute him for
holy
that.
shit, you're actually here. I thought this was all bullshit. Thank you for taking time and coming and visiting and chatting with us. We're obviously massive fans, dude. I'm 37 years old. Obviously, you're a little bit older than me, but watching you, because I have, because my demo in high school was the one that was watching you dominate. You actually came to Pittsburgh, beat the Pennsylvania All-Stars, which is your high school team, and the whole story. So I've followed your entire career. Massive fan of yours. Thank you for doing this.
I appreciate it. Appreciate you having me, man.
Okay,
it's gonna be fun.
Let's talk about it. You're 40 years old now.
Yes, sir.
You've been in the league 22 years, longer than you were not in the league. You're in the league,
right.
And you're playing like you're one of the best seasons you've ever had. Why is that? You think? Is it comfort? Is it what is it about this year?
I mean, I think
the 22 years for sure is crazy, because when I think about that in my life, like, yo, this dude has been like that dude for majority of like my life, which is crazy, dog. So it's like, above anything, you gotta salute that, and you gotta like look up to that longevity of just putting in the work. You know what I'm saying? It's like crazy.
obviously I've been in the game for a while, so I kind of know what to expect. And obviously, one, you got to take care of your body, but more importantly, you got to take care of your mind. Being a professional athlete, if your mind is not as sharp as possible or as clear as possible, then you're not going to be able to perform at a high level.
That's on all industries,
I think,
too.
Seeing what our team is capable of doing, even before, the big acquisition of picking up Luka, I thought we had a good chance of making a good run. So I wanted to make sure that I was there, not only physically, but also mentally, and just give to the season. But I felt pretty good, man, throughout the whole season. I know I had a little small injury that kept me out 2 weeks, 2 weeks ago, but I'm back and I feel great.
We watched you do the sprint down the court thing. It was hilarious. Just like 40 years old,
for sure,
doing the same thing you were doing whenever you were 18, 20.
Yeah,
and we'll talk about the Luka trade and we'll talk about the Lakers, but you talked about, having clarity in mind and feeling good going into the season because you knew you could go on a run. There was that saying, you spent like $1 million on your body or something.
Man, I don't know where the hell that shit came from.
Okay.
This is crazy. I really thought the whole time, I just like believe that. You know what I'm saying? And not like a milli, like I believe like he put like, money into his body. So I hope LeBron not welling on this, man, when he say he don't. Like, because, come on, bro. Like, 22 years of looking like how you look, no real major injuries. Come on, bro.
That's a very fair assessment.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but I mean, listen, man, I do take care of my body, but I have no idea where the amount of money came from. But I do invest in my body for sure, trying to do a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Obviously, a lot of soft tissue work, a lot of massages, a lot of hyperbaric chambers, ice tubs, ice baths, whatever I can do to continue to play at this level, man, I'm gonna continue to do what I'm playing it.
You've committed your entire life to ball, right? That's safe to say?
Yeah.
And you love the sport. Is that your drive, is how much you love the sport? Or why do you think at this age you're still going as hard
Listen,
as
there's
you
no way I'll be still playing, at this level, Pat, if I wasn't in love with it or didn't commit to it. I've had an opportunity to be able to be blessed with a crazy God-given talent, and a lot of us are, to be completely honest. When you find your niche in sports, there's a lot of people that's born with unbelievable talents, but it's literally the ones that like really commit to their craft and literally commit to the sport in general. Being able to pour yourself into it is what you're going to get out of it too. So I figured, shit, when I knew I had a gift at like 13, 14, that I was out there on the court and I was running past guys and jumping higher and, making passes and doing things that the other 13, 14, 15, 16-year-olds wasn't doing. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh shit,
this could be it.
This could be it. Yeah. This could be it. And like I'm living in, Section 8 housing. It's me and my mom, we trying to figure it out. And I'm like, oh shit, if I commit to this, I can figure it out. I can figure it out for not only myself, but for my mom, get out of the the inner city and make something out of it. So, big time for sure.
And your friends. You've taken care of everybody. And I think that is one of the things that I love the most. We have Rich on here.
We do got to point that out, though. Like, the journey hasn't just been with him, but with his boys. Like, and Dave, like Rich Paul, like Maverick Carter, like these dudes are like major in like the business world and like sports world. So it's just like, it's very motivational, incredible, man. Also, like, that's why it's like, it's very hard to not be a fan. You know what I'm saying? These days it's like, with a lot of this BS, I can understand. But like, outside of that, come on, dog. Gotta salute.
I love Rich. He's been very good to us, but just like the way you take care of your people, the way you've kind of done everything is admirable. It never gets talked about, obviously.
No, I appreciate it.
And the chatter that surrounds you, since you have been a guy since you were 13, and I remember the Hummer story and the shoe deals and everything back then.
I for sure remember
What's
that
going
Hummer
on now
deal
with the NIL? I mean, it's completely different.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, I could imagine if NIL was around when I was in high school, I'd have loaded up. I'd have loaded up big time for sure.
Well, I think you already were, which is part of the problem.
Right.
But literally, since that
you
were
know
super
for sure he
smooth,
got
since
that
you're like
bag.
a teenager,
Bag.
as soon as you get in the NBA, obviously the chosen one. Here we go. This is it. You're in Cleveland. You immediately start getting compared to like greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And as a person that's in sports, and we are all sports fans, we saw that happen. I assume at the beginning, massive compliment. Is that a massive compliment?
No, it was. I can remember like my first game. When I watched the replay, my first game on national television, it was like, will he be one of the one-name guys that ever played this game? It was like, they used like Wilt, Kareem, Magic, Bird, Jordan, all these first-name guys.
Shaq.
And then at the end, it was like LeBron. And I'm like, fuck, I'm 17 years old. I was like, what the hell is this? Why you guys are giving me this already? It's like, I haven't done anything. And it's like, it was a compliment to be able to be, in the names of those guys, but it was also like super fucking scary and intimidating too. It was like, I'm just a small kid from Akron, Ohio. I don't even know what.
Well, very tall, and at that point, I think you were a little bit more jacked at the time because the game called for it. But whenever you talk about it being a scary situation, you never let that image out publicly. And I think none of us ever saw you being scared. None of us ever saw you like kind of flapped at all. You were an unflappable force. And you've been in the public eye for so long.
He definitely
I think you
always
would probably
had that
admit
like
that
poise,
you probably fucked some things up on the way, but you haven't really.
Right.
You're like and I said it earlier, child star. Like most people, especially you talk about Section 8 housing, coming from nothing to everything, being in the public eye, at some point that is going to collapse a human.
Yeah, for sure.
For you, it feels like it hasn't. And there's been a lot of things said. There's been a lot of fires that you've been put into, either you walked into yourself or thrown into. Why do you think that is the case? Do you think it's because of your mom? Do you think it's because of what?
I mean, obviously, I give her shit.
It's that upbringing. Anybody from the bottom, no. It's the upbringing for sure. It's the motivation. It's a different motivation, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we all, like us from where I say we from, like, A lot
of credit for the way she raised me, the way she taught me, the things that she was able to instill in me. It was also me also just looking at her, the way she moved and the way how determined she was to be able to make my life better, even with the circumstances that we were growing up in. So I give her a lot of credit. I had some little league coaches too that taught me about not only just playing the game and teaching me the game of basketball, but also being a young man, throughout my small adolescent years. And then just like, to be completely honest, like I didn't want to fuck my opportunity up. Like I knew that the statistics for an inner city black kid to be able to be in a position that I was in, especially from my hometown, shit, it never ever happens.
Never.
It never
works out either.
It never happens, and if it does happen, it never works out. It was a. I mean, I want to throw him under the bus, but the only inspiration like we had was like Jerome Lane, the guy who like dunked and shattered the backboard that played for Pittsburgh. He was from Akron, Ohio. Like we saw that and we was like, oh shit, that's an inspiration. And then I went through high school, and all my boys know this too. Like I went through high school and we was playing against the inner city kids because we went to an all Catholic high school. And fucking Jerome Lang was like hating on us. Yep. I was like, oh, this motherfucker. Like he's back in Akron hating on us, like going against us. And I'm like, oh shit, you was like our only inspiration. We like looked up to you. And I was like, you know what? I can't fuck this opportunity up, man. If I get the opportunity to make it, I gotta do what I have to do to put my city on, to represent my last name on my back, man, my family, my friends, and also like it's sport. Sport has given us so much. I mean, I look around here. I mean, fucking baseballs and NFL helmets and basketball jerseys and
like luchador masks.
Like seriously, like a putt thing. Like seriously, like it's given us so much. So like I couldn't mess the opportunity up.
Well, you've done. Hey, I think you figured it out.
Yeah, for sure. He definitely figured that out. Like you know what I'm saying, in a major way. And I'm glad he was really like very, very honest with the fact that he just didn't want to, fuck it up. He didn't want to mess it up. Like, the opportunity. Sometimes, like, the opportunities and, like, what we're doing is much bigger than us. And, like, when I say us, I'm saying us as a people, but I'm specifically talking about, like, us, like, with black people. We got to do better with that for sure, too.
You've done good. Now we'll see what's left. Now the conversation is how many years is he going to play? You look like you could probably play forever. D-Bud has a question for you.
Facts, kind of on that note, and one of the things people got on you about was when you went to Miami. You made the decision to go to Miami. I know some great things behind that as well. Me, lifelong Miami Heat fan, I loved it. But what was it like coming down there, winning your first championship, and what was that kind of load lifted off your back? 'Cause you talk about being amongst the one-name guys. Championships obviously got to come with that. So what was that like going down there and getting that done?
Yeah, I mean, listen.
I remember the decision
was a lot bigger than
decision that he did. That was hilarious, man. Like he regrets it for sure, but that was big then. That was big at that time. Like that was huge. Like
winning MVPs and being an all-star and whatever all the individual things is. I've before I even got to the NBA, I've always won, and it doesn't matter which level you win on. If you're in a winning environment, that shit carries on throughout the rest of your life. My first year ever playing organized sports, I won a Little League football championship that year, and then backed it up with a basketball championship. Undefeated season. My second year, we did the same thing, and I was league MVP in basketball and football. Through middle school championships, through high school, I won 3 state championships. I was just always born winner, and I knew how to win because of the culture that I was around. I knew how it was supposed to be done.
That's crazy. Those accolades.
At that moment,
those statistics and accolades are crazy. Like since the beginning, you know what I'm saying? This dude's remembering like organized ball, like when he was young, back-to-back undefeated seasons. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy.
My 7 years in Cleveland, I had some good years. Obviously, some great years. One, was able to take the team to the NBA Finals. I was 22 years old. I had a moment in Detroit where I went insane, 25 straight, 29 out of 30, and took a team that you look back at our roster, you're like, what the hell? How was that even possible?
There's a lot of those, brother. We don't want to dive into all of them. You were at the finals with 45 straight years.
You know what I'm saying? So, but it got to the point that final season, I was like,
El Gaskin squad. Definitely remember that. Gosh, I'm missing so many people on there. But for sure, that you look back at that roster, it's like, what?
I've maximized this potential.
Yeah.
I've squeezed all the juice out of this damn lemon here, and I know it. And in order for me to get to where I want to get to, I have to make a choice for my career going forward. And Miami was the best choice. At that moment, I felt like it was the best choice for me. The conversation I had with D Wade, had with Bosh, had with Udonis Haslam. D Wade and UD had been there. They had won, had beat Dallas. They had been in some big playoff matchups with Detroit, where Detroit beat them and then they beat Detroit. And things of that nature. And then you look at the big four that Boston had. Everybody talk about the big three. But everybody always decides that for some odd reason that Rondo wasn't as great as Rondo was.
Yeah,
it's always just the big three.
He's from Boston.
Not me.
LeBron's
always saying
they say
that.
the big three, but fucking Rondo.
Rondo, 2008 Boston championship run, 2009 finals when they went against your boy Kobe. I call that, Kobe the Bean, RIP. He got the redemption championships back to back with that 2009, 2010. But that 08 Boston, that 09 Boston, Rondo, even as you can see, he came to play with LeBron, Lakers, bubble, ring, Rondo, definitely one of the greatest point guards.
Rondo was when he was a dog. He brought it all. He made it all work with those guys because Ray wasn't bringing the ball up. You had Ray flying around. You had Paul when he get it at a certain spot, and Paul was a killer. And then you had KG was anchoring the defense, and also, you throw it to the low post. But they all started with the mind, and that was with Rondo. So for me to go down to Miami, man, one, it was a terrifying experience for me. You got to think, I don't know a lot of people know, it's the first time I ever left my hometown. I was 25 years old. You got mad. My first 7 years, even though I played for Cleveland, I still lived in Akron. So for 25 straight years, I was
awesome house. You had an awesome house. We've seen that.
I gotta look that up.
Yeah, so I'm comfortable. That is my comfort. My comfortability is being in
Those
Akron.
7 years, LeBron's definitely the king, like a king.
Ohio, I drive, 30 minutes to Cleveland, play my games, and then I shoot right back down to Akron, and I'm good. So for the first time, it's like I've always used the analogy, like I felt like this was my college moment. I didn't have to go to college, so like going to Miami was my, moment to basically get out the house with my parents. I was going off to college, and I learned a lot, man. And shit, 2 championships, 4 finals appearances, 2 more MVPs, and things that I can always look back on and say it was a hell of an experience.
And you guys were the Heatles. You guys were selling out everywhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, while we on that, you mentioned you didn't wait, and I forget which one of them it was, but they told a story about Pat Riley fucking with your cookie.
Yes.
Is that a true story? Yeah. Is that a real story?
No, it's a true story.
Okay.
It's a true story. Now, like Rouse wasn't like Rouse was on the plane and I was about to get my cookies and Rouse snatched them out of my hand.
Don't tell me, Bron, you was going off like how Steve Harvey went off on his staff that ate his cookies. I don't know if y'all ever seen that clip. Pause this. If this video paused, go on YouTube and look up Steve Harvey mad about staff eating cookies or whatever. Dog, hilarious, young. I swear, man, on everything, like hilarious.
You know how stories can become a little bit. They kind of build to Sasquatch at some point. Yep. But it was. I mean, I was. There was a time where everyone knows I fucking love chocolate chip cookies. It's like my my biggest vice.
Is it specific?
No, it was literally the plane that we were getting on. The ladies on the plane were making chocolate chip cookies.
Oh, homemade.
Yeah, so they knew.
Wow, man.
Yeah, so they were making them and bringing them because we had the same ladies all the time. It was a party of 6. They would rotate, and every time they knew I loved chocolate chip cookies, so they would get on, and I would,
soft
with a little crispy edge.
That's the one.
Yeah, perfect. And I would get
with the crispy edge. Pause.
Get on, and they already knew. They bring me 2 cookies, and I'll get the gambling with the guys, and I got my cookies, and we good. And then one flight I got on, I looked at them, and they looked at me, and I'm like, oh, that look didn't look familiar. And I asked him, I was like, we got the? He was like, no, we're not allowed to, no more cookies on these flights.
What?
And we all know where it came from. I looked at D-Wade. D-Wade looked at me. He was like, basically, without even saying, he was like, fucking Rouse done it again. Rouse strikes again. I was like, damn.
So what was it like down there? Because they talk about the Miami Heat culture and Pat Riley and it being, and obviously him just saying no more cookies.
Yeah, they be
it's LeBron's cookies.
He don't give a fuck. One thing about Rouse, he don't give a fuck about nothing. Listen, if it ain't about that heat shield and covering that heat culture, we see what's going on now. Well, not anymore, but with Jimmy and, and it was at one point where, even I left, and
there's
it was
definitely
time.
a culture there though, for sure. Like, you know, with your boy Pat Riley, and you can't just say old school. You know, it's just, hey, they just run things the way they run. You know what I'm saying? Some organizations are like that for sure.
For D Wade to get paid, and he didn't want to pay D Wade, and D Wade left. I was like, oh, when that happened, I was like, when Wade County had to leave and go to Chicago, I looked at the Cookie situation. I was like, oh shit, maybe it wasn't that bad.
I was like, okay, cookies.
Yeah, I was like, okay, fuck it. I mean, D Wade's millions and my cookies. I was like, okay, maybe I made it out safe. I was like, okay, it wasn't that bad.
Let's talk about the cultures. You know, because Cleveland, you talk about at the beginning of your career, making, feeling like you had to go to Miami. You obviously do that. You go back to Cleveland, win one. Hey,
man.
we're hometown.
For sure, one of the greatest finals runs right there when he came back to Cleveland and won. Cleveland, this is for you.
It was bananas.
Yes, sir.
And then obviously out at LA about JJ Redick's culture that you have felt, experienced, and obviously a couple games.
Comment below how y'all feel about JJ Redick and just like the start of his coaching career. Do you see like a future with it? I definitely for sure do. The way he runs the team and the way he just kind of like galvans with the players, I think that it's major. You know, but I guess the times we living in now, like the former players becoming coaches, is definitely more player coach friendly environments, and I think it's a respect there because the coach then played and did some things. Like you can't deny JJ Redick since Duke been a problem.
But fourth in the West still, on a playoff push. What is it about JJ Redick and his culture, or what you guys have right now that you like?
I think the best thing about JJ is that he's just a great podcaster.
Yeah, he is. He is. We learned a lot, brother. You guys were talking about like when fucking doubles here, then we round here, then we go under this.
JJ, he's just a podcaster that for some odd reason became a head coach, and all because of me. You know, it's just the weirdest thing in the world, and those conversations have died down. But no, I think one thing about JJ, man, he bleeds the game and he breathes the game of basketball every single day. He's one of those guys that it's kind of just like me. Like if we lose a game or we didn't play up to par, there's no such thing as sleeping that night. There's no such thing of sleeping into the next match, into the next game. And he's just determined to like, he's a dickhead.
Yeah, gotta be.
And I love it. And I love it. And when I was a kid, I used to watch Duke. Now I realize it. I hated Duke when I was growing up. And then when I got a little older and I started playing with Coach, I started matching up with Coach K. We played with I played with him for Team USA. For sure. And then I was like, okay, I see why he's great. Yeah. I see why he's great. I see why I hated JJ Redick.
I feel like Duke is definitely like a cowboy. Like, you know, it's like you either a fan of him or you're not, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, definitely. But I definitely want to see what Duke gonna do with your boy Cooper Flagg. Hopefully Cooper Flagg come to the Wizards. You know what I'm saying? We're going to see.
You know, I see why I hated Shane Battier, and then Shane came over to us in Miami and helped us win a championship. I was like, I see it. Yep. He's like the greatest guys / dickheads that you ever meet.
Is that all from Coach K, you think? JJ has a lot of Coach K in?
Absolutely. Absolutely. He's just, he's meant for it. You know, and there's just some things that can't be explained, but when you got the it factor, it's just like, oh yeah,
Does he still shoot ever? Is he ever still
absolutely. Absolutely. He'll let us know for sure.
Yeah, okay, let's talk about a guy who made a shot the other day in warm-ups that was, I don't know how, it defied physics, I think. Luka, he did this shot up over.
From the complete opposite.
Yeah, and then I don't know how that works, actually. Like science, I don't know how, but then he'll do one off the fucking Jumbotron. Yeah, here it is right here. You've seen this, obviously, I assume.
Yeah,
yes.
I've seen
He probably does this type of stuff every single day. What has it been like being his teammate? And I think it was the first game. There was, you guys were calling it up or whatever, and you looked at Luka, and it was a big deal because you said,
when I seen Luka go to LA, I was excited for that. And I definitely been loving the way they're playing. I just want to see them get one more piece, though. For sure, want to see them get one more piece.
Damn thing. World change for you, actually, is what you said. And then broke it down. I think it was a big deal for people to hear you say, but also obviously Luka as well. What has it been like, and why do you guys have such good chemistry?
I mean, his name is Luka Magic for a reason. And you see that. You see his play on the game. He's a very transcendent player. And if you talk about that moment, you got to think. I can't put myself in his shoes because I've never been traded before.
That was crazy.
But I
though.
can
like
have a sense.
The whole outcome of that trade too. Like I know y'all seen all of the booing and just like Dallas players all going hurt and going down. I seen AD back out there. I definitely feel like they should have just let him rock out to the end of the season, just get ready for the next season. But I can understand why AD trying to play too. But yeah, I could only imagine this whole season for Luka. Like when he finally do settle down, it was crazy. Like that was a crazy trade.
And be a human being to know you commit to a franchise for 7 years and you feel like, this is the place where I'm going to be. This is my comfort. I talk about my comfort before I went to Miami. And then out of nowhere, bam, you just get traded. I don't give a damn where you're going. It doesn't matter who you're pairing with. That's a shock to your system. Oh, yeah. It's a shock to your system. And, even though, he was ready to play, that moment I feel like that had to be said. Because he is still that guy. Mm-hmm. In order for us to reach our potential, he has to be that guy. He has to fit out, and we'll figure it out. Let us figure it out with you. Because we need you to be
who you are.
But
sure.
It's definitely, I lost a dear friend and a great friend and a champion. Duo with AD. Miss him to death. And but we was able to gain Luka Magic. And I think both sides will.
A lot of people thought you two wouldn't be able to work together because ball dominant, LeBron James too much of a prima donna.
Yeah, that's right.
Not going to let Luka come in and do the Luka shit. And they won't be able to figure it out.
Yeah, it must be the idiots that don't know the game of basketball. Oh my goodness, there's so many of those guys out there right now.
I would say your league, you, and your league has the most absurd chatter.
Oh my goodness,
it really does.
It is every single day, and then you realize you was like, I'll be looking at it and I hear it, I'm like. Those guys a lot of those guys that played the game or did not play the game, it was just they played the game while they were talented. I don't think they ever thought the game. I don't think they were ever smart. I just think they were bigger and stronger and maybe faster at the time, and they dominated.
Basketball savant. Yeah.
When it was over, it was over. They don't. That's why I'm able to still play at fucking 40 years old.
Well, that's what everybody talks about.
Yeah, my mind is just like I can play the game because I can outthink the guys out there. And as my athleticism has went down a notch, not a lot, but a notch.
Slow. Don't you a little fat too?
As my athleticism has went down a notch, like I'm able to still bring up other facets of my game to be able to still, do what I need to do every single night. But the talking heads of our sport, oh my goodness.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Especially for you.
Speak those names. Speak those names, Bron. That's all I want. Speak those names.
Situation than maybe any other human in history of sports, if I had to guess. And like I said, at the beginning, it's a compliment, though. Like, they're immediately telling this teenager that we need to talk about him as if he is Michael Jordan, who obviously transcended the sport, changed the sport forever, and everything like that. But then it gets to the point where it's like, hey, this is a real conversation, and it almost immediately becomes divisive. Do you? So this is an interesting concept here. You probably lost a lot of trust in media, I would assume, because of the things that happened. Not just what was said on TV, but what it led other people to probably think they should say.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
it all started with the decision. It all started with the decision.
I just asked y'all earlier, did y'all remember that? For sure, it all started there.
The decision really had me sit back and because people literally I give a moment. So the decision, it was brought to me to be able to. Do something cool on TV, do a kind of college style. Like I said, went to college. I was like, this would be pretty cool.
Put a hat on.
Make the decision, put the hat on, but also, raise $2.5 million for a great cause, and also
exactly
be able to, make it cool.
Bron, stop that weather.
And the funniest thing is, from that moment, it was December 2nd, 2010 was my first game back to Cleveland. So I stay at the hotel, stay at the Ritz downtown in Cleveland. And this one I knew that it was, people did not even really care or didn't even understand the situation. They just wanted to be a part of the nonsense. I hit the elevator to go downstairs to the bus, catch the bus, to go over to, I think it was the Q, the Quicken Loans Arena then. And the elevator opens, and it's two guys, random guys on the elevator. You guys can always pull this up. They used to have these FUKLBJ t-shirts.
Okay.
Black t-shirts, red letters.
That's hilarious.
And I see the two guys, they see me, they say, oh my fucking God. Oh. Huh. No, listen, man, we love you so much, man. We're just here for the spectacle, man. We're just here for the spectacle. Like, seriously, we love you, man, and have a good get.
That's hilarious.
Door in the elevator door closed. I was like, oh yeah.
Those are two white dudes, by the way.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I didn't want to say it. I didn't want to say it because we're outnumbered right now.
No, we're all this together, brother. We're all this together,
it was like,
brother.
oh my God, man, we fucking love you, man. Like, oh shit, don't. And the elevator closed. I was like, you know what? This is all part of the spectacle, and it's about to get haywire.
So the decision, you think, is whenever the conversation kind of changed a little bit about you?
Yeah, because they just needed something. They needed something. Everything was so.
That first year in Miami, he definitely was the villain, for sure. Mask LeBron, I remember when he put on the mask and all of that, like, he was for sure. I know that I'm going to give all the credit in the world to Dallas and all the credit in the world to Nowitzki, one of the greatest ever. You know what I'm saying? I'm not taking it away, but for sure, I feel like if LeBron wasn't in that mindset, that outcome probably could have been better with that finals. Maybe.
Positive, and I gave them no reason to make it negative.
Yeah, it wasn't fucking up.
But they needed anything. I'm doing everything I need to do on the court. I'm not out in the streets. I'm not being caught in all the bullshit that doesn't respect the game and respect my craft. It was like, oh, you decided to go on TV and make a decision for your career. Mm-hmm. We got you. We got it. We finally got it. We finally made a little chink in the armor.
We got something. It's selfish.
Oh, it's selfish.
Yeah.
You selfish mother. Yeah.
And then that caught a little bit of fire, right? Because a lot of people don't like seeing people that are successful in anything, especially if somebody is taking happiness from them and their team, which you were doing, obviously, with the Cavs. And then that just you're saying from that moment is when
yeah.
Until, which leads, obviously, to you and Stephen A. Hey.
Doom. Finally, we get into it.
Legit, that feels like a moment that had been brewing for a long time.
He's like on a Taylor Swift tour run right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we're watching it.
Yep. You both are, though, bro.
You're seeing it as well.
He literally, it started off with, I didn't want to address it.
Yeah, sure.
I didn't want to address it. I wasn't going to address it. But since the video came out, I feel the need to address it.
Yeah, on fire. You would be not to talk about it.
Are you kidding me? If there's one person that couldn't wait to the video to drop so you could address it, it's your ass. Like, seriously, it's, and like another, he completely like.
I really want to see these two sit down and talk, bro. Like, I don't even care if it is more of like they, going crazy, like being snarly towards each other, whatever you want to say. Like, I want to see that, bro. Just as like men, black men, man, I want to see them like sit down, you know what I'm saying, and really discuss these differences and stuff like that.
Missed the whole point. The whole point. Never would I ever not allow people to talk about the sport, criticize players about what they do on the court. That is your job, to criticize or to, be in a position where, okay, if a guy's not performing, that is all part of the game. That's all part of the game. But when you take it and you get personal with it, it's my job to not only protect my damn household.
I'm gonna be honest with you though. During this whole time, Bron really haven't gave the facts of like the personable stuff that LeBron has said. You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to figure it out if it's just based off him just saying just anything about him and being a dad. And I just think that's what it is. And he should just say that.
The players, and I think a lot of the media, including him, and I know he's gonna be happy as hell. He's gonna be smiling from ear to ear when he hears me talking about him again. Oh my God, he's gonna get home and grab some ice cream out of the fucking freezer and sit in his chair in his tiny whities on the couch.
I hope at some point you two do get a chance. But you're right.
Dude, relax, bro. Like, relax.
Shout out to Pat too. I hope at one point in time y'all do get to sit down. Pat, a real one, bro. Shout out to him.
Like seriously, just
How do you feel about the way the game is covered and you players are covered? Because this is a big topic of conversation with the NBA. We have Tyrese Halliburton, who comes through. We love Tyrese.
Oh, he's
the man.
Tyrese loves you too.
Tyrese is great. Love that guy.
So Tyrese gave me the heads up, like, hey, LeBron coming on your show is a massive ordeal because like everybody in the NBA like does look up, like LeBron is our guy. Like I think Pat Beverly told the story down at the bubble whenever everybody was like, we need to take a stand and yada yada yada. And then I think he was the person who went up and said, hey, you, if you're fucking playing, we're all playing. If you're not playing, we're not playing. But I think that's how everybody in the league feels about you. So congrats on that, by the way.
Man,
respect amongst your peers.
No, for real.
Sure.
To have the respect for my peers, that means a lot. And I carry that, man. And I take that with a lot of responsibility because there was too many years went by when players did not have an opportunity to just speak and their voices to be heard or allow the narrative to get so much outside of sports. Like if I miss a game winner or if I don't show up in the finals, like I was supposed to versus Dallas in year 1 in Miami, you can say whatever the fuck you want. I should have been a lot better. I know.
For
but
sure.
like don't take it to, my household or take it to what's going on and other guys. Like I seen something with Embiid where a reporter came into the locker room and started speaking about, like, I think it's
we talking about you though. I don't want to hear about no other players, Bron. Not like that, but come on, man.
brother or something. Like how weird is that? Like that's so weird. Like why are we taking it to that point? And we're taking it to that point because people have gotten too comfortable. I think people in the media have gotten too comfortable, especially with our sport. They got too comfortable where, back in the day, like for sure, you would never bring up Charles Oakley's brother. Charles Oakley will smack you through his brother.
Well, see, there you go.
All right.
To this day, Charles Oakley still stands on that. So it's like, if LeBron's about to be this type of dude, I hope he just continues to stand on it and be this type of dude. You know what I'm saying? But I got him like respecting it to that point of what he's saying. Like then I do respect how you step to him, if that's your mindset. I do.
Max, like his name was Mad Max for a reason. It wasn't because he picked you up 94 feet. It was because if you said something about Mad Max, like he's gonna separate your jaw, and there was no repercussions from that. Like they got to the point where they knew like, oh, these guys can't really do anything to us anymore. Because there would be a fine, suspension, and
don't embarrass the league.
And don't embarrass the league, or you now here come your sponsors. They're coming after us or coming after you, and they're gonna be like, "What are you doing?" Like, that's when they decided they could,
When you make the big bucks, I mean, that's what it is. Them dudes that wasn't making that much, the guys that you name, the crash outs. You get what I'm saying? Because there's some crash outs in the league to this day that you won't hear the media talking about in a certain stature. You get what I'm saying? And that's why you're getting talked about.
They thought.
So the conversation about old school basketball is a real thing, like because that's the new narrative now. Is like it's a nostalgia issue. Like a lot of people who grew up in a different era of basketball and get introduced to basketball, they're gonna like that era regardless of no matter what happens in the future. You've played through what now? Like 3 years? 3 years?
Yeah.
Back whenever Kuzi was doing no-look pass?
For sure.
The first ever no-look pass?
Cool.
Kuzi.
Yep. He's a dog.
Hey, he was an exciting white, wasn't he? He was an
exciting
white.
Game. Kuz had game for sure.
Boom.
Yeah, Kuz had game.
Yeah, but we're
Kuz
watching these highlights, and I'll speak for you.
For that era.
Exactly. Thank you. Hey, you don't have to say this.
Yeah, for sure. No,
I'll say this.
Yeah, game for that.
I grew up in Pittsburgh, so we didn't have an NBA team. So I was more NHL guy, but I would watch the Lake Show at night because I couldn't sleep. So I did know the NBA, but not like I didn't follow it as closely. When I watched The Last Dance, I was watching a lot of highlights, and I was watching.
Did you guys watch The Last Dance? One of the greatest sports documentaries. One of the greatest ones, for sure.
Dribble a ball like this, and I was like, I don't know how that works in modern basketball. I think you guys have played a couple different sports. I think there was a Kuzi era of sports where a no-look pass, holy shit. Then there was an era where people were starting to get like nasty. There's some more.
You had some Pistol Pete Maravich. He started coming in and started, getting a little bit nasty. But then the ball was hitting off guys' heads and stuff, so they looking at him like, ugh, what are you doing? Like,
never see those lowlights though. Only see the highlights. Highlights are the only bangers survive. Then obviously Jordan comes in and transforms everything. Him dunking from the foul line, massive ordeal. He made a whole fucking brand off it. He's flying. Now kids are like dunking from the 3-point line in high school. It's like it's just like the game has evolved so much. I think. But there is like a nostalgia comment that takes place with you guys. This
now
modern
we had the threes with Steph
era. Do you feel that? How do you address that?
No. I definitely feel it, and I think. we just have to recognize that evolution is just a part of
For
life,
sure.
man. Like, shit, you look at the Hummer.
I do hate that we always got to compare. Like, I understand it, but I hate that. Like, everything, like every era, every like advancement we make as like a people, or we make as like a culture, like it should be celebrated. To see what like the league is at now, to see what players are at now, and what they're doing right now it's amazing. You know what I'm saying? And even what they did back then, where they came from. So it should all be celebrated instead of like always like comparing or going against. You know what I'm saying? It's like after a while, it's too much. But it's a real meaning with that too. We'll get deep in another one.
From the 1970s to the Hummer of today, you're gonna be like, okay, you might be nostalgic about it, you loved it in the 70s, but do you really want to drive that every day right now in 2025? You're gonna get out the car and your goddamn neck and your back is gonna be hurting so bad. Like, seriously, you're gonna be hurting so bad. You're gonna be like, okay, you know what? This might be just a Sunday chill car. Like, I drive it up the street, get some ice cream, come back home, but I can't.
Refill it because it gets 2 miles.
Yeah, exactly. I got to just start it up, let it just crank the gas for about 2 hours just to make sure it's still running. But like we have to understand that there's players and eras and things of that nature. Like, we get it, but like, you watch some of the NFL games as well from the
For
70s
sure.
and the 80s, and you got like, Jack Lambert and those guys coming through like completely decapitating people. Murder. Ronnie Lott tore his pinky off and then went to the sideline. Was like, just tear the rest of it off. I'm getting back out there. Like I get it. Like, those are nostalgic moments, but like the game is different, and we should respect all eras in that era. We
Basically
can't be
just
saying,
say what I
okay,
said.
just because Wilt was great in the 60s and 70s that he'll be great now. And we also can't say that some of the guys now will be great. It is what it is. Respect that era and we move on. But the whole, every single day that he's better, he's not better, he wouldn't. You trying to tell me Giannis wouldn't be able to play an NBA game in the 70s?
I think
Handshake. He wouldn't be able to do it.
neither would you. Neither would you.
Giannis Antetokounmpo would have 200.
That is hilarious, though, the thought of that.
And 50 points in a game in the 70s. 250.
Is that Koozie? When was Koozie playing?
Koozie
50s.
50s.
Dude, Koozie's locking up fucking Giannis, brother.
He's saying 70s, not 50s.
And that's no disrespect. Like, it's no disrespect. But, like, seriously, like,
That's hilarious.
Kyrie Irving. Like,
They would have called him a witch. They would have called him a witch.
No, they would have told Kyrie, you're not. You know how they used to tell Lou Alcindor at the time that he couldn't dunk in high school games?
Yeah.
They would have told Kyrie, you're not allowed to dribble anymore. That's what they would have told him. Dribbling is out ruled. They would have seen that.
How tall are you?
I'm 6'9".
And how heavy are you?
I'm give or take in between 215 to 280. I don't know. Depends on the day.
Okay.
Depends on if you give me my cookies or not.
Yeah, Pat Riley's like, we're tipping too close to 280. LeBron,
That nigga still
the
talking about
Eagles are
them
becoming
cookies.
a heavyweight battle.
Yeah.
So 6'9",
Yeah.
let's say you're two.
We-
I don't know though. These guys definitely be lying about their height. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not trying to bring nobody else in like the mix because we ain't talk about them. But like, even like KD, for example, I'm not sure if y'all remember that viral picture that he was standing next to in the Olympics. He's standing next to DeMarcus Cousins, Bama Mumbayo. Hope I'm saying his last name right. But that dude is not 6'9" or 6'10". You know what I'm saying? You like 7 foot, 7'1". So sometimes I'll be wondering about that, like with LeBron. And I seen him in person, and it's just like, I don't know.
Very thin right now.
Yeah. I feel good.
So 215, 6'9", 220. Could easily get to 260 though. I think that would play in a lot of different areas.
Yeah, come on. I could play.
Just like we
I would
assume-
be able to play in any era. It's funny you hear some of them older guys like LeBron James couldn't play in this era.
Never been fouled by Bill Laimbeer before. Nope.
Yeah. I think I seen like Dennis Rodman say that one time. He was like, LeBron James not skilled enough. Yeah, not big enough. He's not. Nah, doesn't weigh
That's
enough.
funny. Of who it's coming from.
If he's not strong enough.
Can't handle it.
Nah. Yeah, I'm like, okay.
Okay, let's talk about you flopping all over the place.
Yeah.
That's why people get mad.
Yeah, I know.
Now, why do you do that? Patrick Mahomes does the same thing. He's the greatest of all time for us. In a conversation of the greatest of all time, the rules indicate
In the conversation.
that if you're to hit him, he gets 15.
No doubt.
Is that the same thing for you?
I wish.
As a Bron fan since the beginning, one of the things I say, about stars, like it's two things with LeBron that pisses me off with him in his career. The slam dunk contest, which I hope they address, and I want to also say the flopping. You know what I'm saying? As far as with stars. You know what I'm saying? Because when you look at Jordan and Kobe, a lot of hand checking coming right at you, and a lot of stars before that. But it seems like with LeBron, seems to start a new trend. You know what I'm saying?
I wish, because I am like literally over like the last 5-6 years, why everybody's been claiming I flop all the time. I'm like in the bottom half of free throw attempts per game.
Oh, they won't give you the whistle.
You don't get the whistles.
You
No.
don't get the superstar treatment?
You know the funny thing is, I have a lot of teammates that be like, they come to the Lakers and they be like, man, when I used to play against you, I just think you got every goddamn call, and I hated it. And now that I'm your teammate, it's like, oh my goodness, you don't get any calls. I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. Just keep playing.
No, just wait till you see me in the third quarter. I got a good flop coming. I practiced on this one last night because there's a video from the Last Dance where I think the ref says.
I do got to look more into that though. I want to see. I'm gonna start playing. Because now that I'm thinking about it, maybe he's right on that.
Michael Jordan, he goes, I didn't see it, Michael. I am so sorry. I would never do it to you. And walks away. Yeah, I believe you, Michael. Yeah, that's the clip.
Oh yeah, I saw that. And Michael's like, oh, God damn it. Yeah, I saw that. Oh, we.
Okay, so you and Michael at a good spot.
Who, me and Michael?
Jordan?
Yeah, we're in a good spot. We don't talk.
I'm about to say, what's a good spot? Be honest, Bron, please.
Why not, you think?
Because I'm still playing. I think I'm still playing. I'm still focused on my craft right now.
When you're done, you think you two will be the only two that can have a conversation?
I would hope so. You know, the funny thing is, me and Kobe, besides our, the late great Kobe, obviously, me and Kobe never had a real relationship either until we was on the Olympic team. We had a great relationship there. Olympic team 8, Olympic team 12, but it was always competitive between us. We were always like, I was on the East Coast, he was on the West Coast, and it was like, even though we never, I fucked up one time in 09 and didn't beat Orlando, and I think it was 09, didn't beat Orlando and didn't get him an opportunity.
So if y'all remember that year, they already, like before the Cavs played Orlando, they already had commercials of Kobe and LeBron in the finals, and that was supposed to be one of them ones, bro. Oh man, Bron, you let Dwight and them boys and Jameer Nelson come through.
To play him in the finals, but and until I became a Laker, and then he retired, that's when our relationship became really, really good.
Did I say LeBron?
He welcomed me.
Dwight Howard. I hope I said Dwight Howard.
Called me bro, anything Nelson. You need in LA, I got you. You're a Laker now. You family, and we would have multiple conversations. He was obviously, you got saw him coming to a lot of games and things of that nature. And when I passed him in the scoring record in Philly, I think he had a tweet out there keep on going, keep transcending the game, keep going, and that shit meant so much to me. So I think it's because I'm still playing, and MJ's, we all know MJ. Even if you don't know him personally, he's one of the most ruthless competitors there is. And till I'm done, and he doesn't have to look at me run up and down wearing the number 23, and every time my name is mentioned with his, he's like, I don't want to fucking talk to you.
Yeah, I'm on a golf course. Yeah, I'm on a golf course.
Don't talk to me right now. I'm on the back nine. Do not call me.
It was great to see y'all at the top 75.
Oh, yeah, that was dope.
That was definitely a dope moment, just in general. But between him and just everybody, that was really a cool moment for sure.
That's straight respect, admiration, and just me for sure. I mean, shit, like I said, I wear 23 because of MJ, and that shit, the inspiration that he gave me as a kid in Akron, Ohio, that don't have much inspiration in your hometown. You look at something. It got to be somebody in sports, somebody in music, somebody on the TV screen. So Will Smith on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Michael Jordan playing for the Bulls, Jay-Z, Biggie, and Tupac. That was that was my inspirations. You know what I'm saying? I needed that because I didn't have
Lang.
Yeah, couldn't be fucking Jerome Lang.
Yeah.
He's hating on me and shit. So
those are definitely some great people. I feel the same way. Anyone close to the age of that, saying Bron's definitely a little older than myself, but for sure, in those times, those are definitely some great people.
Kind of on that note, Bronny, your son, he's obviously had that inspiration in the home, and you talked about it since years ago, wanting to play long enough to play with your son. So you obviously visualized that. How was the real moment with that happening? Because I know me seeing it, seeing the Griffey's there, just seeing it, like that was just an unbelievable moment. So what was that like for you, really actually being in it?
Like seeing that pop fly head towards King Griffey Sr. and then see Junior over there right before the ball got to his glove and he snatched it out the air and run back to the dugout like laughing at his pops. Like, that was a cool ass moment. And for that moment, that game, that home opener versus Minnesota, and then just over there and see Griffey Jr., man, the kid, and seeing his pops over there and us getting that picture at half court and then us going out on the floor and having that moment.
Yeah, that's fire right there.
It wasn't even.
That's for sure fire and iconic above anything else.
Physically, I wasn't even there. I wasn't even there.
You're floating.
I'm floating, and I can
Dad right there.
I can only imagine where Bronny was. I don't know. We haven't even talked about it yet. At some point we will, but I wasn't even there. Like I might have been in the rafters. I might have been at home. My body may have been at home watching the game, watching the moment. I completely was not there, and but damn, that was an unbelievable moment, man. For me to be able to like have that dream, be able to speak it into existence, for it to come to fruition, for my mom and my wife and my daughter and my youngest son to be there. It was like
the whole fam.
I started thinking about everything from what the hell he went through not less than a year before with his
he almost died?
Yeah, his cardiac arrest.
Sometimes I do often forget about that, and it's not forget about that, but how like I forget about how back to back that was and how far he has come. Talking about Bronny, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that is crazy.
Man,
that came out of nowhere. Seemingly,
that came out of nowhere. It was a birth defect that, quite honestly, if he never played sports or he never like started to become strong and run fast and all those stuff, we probably would never have to worry about it. But as he got stronger and things of that nature, it was just something inside his heart that, was just pounding at his heart and pounding at his lungs that, unfortunately, we had the incident. And thankfully, a lot of these kids we've been seeing a lot lately in sports, not only in basketball but in football.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we was able to catch it. And to all the families out there that haven't had the opportunity to catch their kids before it gets to the point where they're not here anymore, like. To see that happen to Bronny and for him to be able to play that same year after that happened, at USC, and then less than a year later be drafted by the Lakers, and then in that fall we go out there together. So that's why I wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like we walked in together, but I was not there.
That's a dad moment. That's really cool.
Yeah,
People forget, you're only one name now, LeBron, but you're still a human too. And I assume seeing,
for sure.
Your baby boy,
yeah,
get a chance to experience his dream.
Man.
Then obviously that led to the thing with Stephen A. talking about him and how critical everybody has been of Bronny. And I think that's a pressure that a second generation star has on him.
Yeah, for
His
sure.
whole life he's had that. It feels like he is very... he's like a 55-year-old, it looks like, the way he kind of handles it all, and I think you've even said that as well.
Yeah.
But how about his development? We had Rich Paul on the day after the draft.
Yeah,
man.
Because there's rumors about Rich Paul.
I do feel that the his developmental stage is going crazy, and I'm anxious to see these next few years with him. Like the next 2 to 3 years will really determine some things. Maybe even 2. It will really determine some things for sure.
Teams, hey, you draft them, we'll send them to Australia. Like, there's a lot of those types of things happening. Allegedly, the Suns were involved. There was a chance they could get you, but he ends up with the Lakers with you.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a whole storm. Like LeBron James is bullying, blah blah blah. Everything the way it always goes.
Of course.
This guy's not good enough. This guy's not this. And he does start out a little bit rough NBA-wise. But now, he just dropped 39 last night in the G League. I think he had like a double-double or something. He had his best game in the NBA last week. He's obviously getting better and better. You have to be loving every moment. And how proud of Bronny are you for what he's going through? And
listen, for me as a dad, it doesn't matter if he never scores, ever. For me as a dad, I'm just super proud of him, period, as a young man. For me, as a mentor and as a teammate of his, and that wants to see him thrive because I've seen the work he's put into the game, I am super proud of his development to where he is now. From the moment that
was crazy, I'm saying, like a mentor and teammate.
He was drafted in June of 2025 to us being now in March of 2026, his development is skyrocketed, you know. And I just think I had a good friend of mine, you know, who went through a cardiac arrest as well, and he told me that, you know, it took him, and he played basketball as well. And back then, when it happened to him in the early 2000s, they wasn't with going back to performing. It was like, if it happened, it's over with.
Well, let's not roll the dice.
Yeah, we're not rolling the dice. There was not enough data on it. It's like, you have a cardiac arrest, it is over. We don't want this on our resume. They was not going back to perform to play. And he told me, he was like, man, I'm gonna be honest, it took me about 2.5 years to finally get back to just normalcy. Like, my body, my mind, and, you know, he said when it happened to me, I was 23 years old. Bronny was 19 years old, you know, and he's like, it's gonna take a little time, and I reason with that, but also he's doing things right now less than 2 years.
Yeah.
You know, and it's because of his determination and his will to want to get better, and his will to, like, I don't really care what y'all saying. I hear it. He did an article the other day. He was like, yeah, I hear the noise. I use that as motivation, but I also know what I'm capable of. And, you know, I've always told my kids, like, all of them, you know, they all play sports. 2 basketball players. My youngest son going to Arizona on a full ride. My daughter's
What is he, 7 foot tall, by the way? That came out of nowhere. Bryce, right?
Yeah.
Shout out to Bryce going to Arizona too. Definitely can be a spooky situation right there. Gotta definitely keep your eye on that one for sure.
He popped up out of nowhere because we follow your family on the internet, obviously. We see it all. And it's like Bronny, okay, and then Lil Bryce.
Yep.
Lil Bryce with the glasses.
Right, exactly.
And then all of a sudden, one video popped up of an Aussie, and Bryce.
And Bryce taller than Bronny.
Wait a minute.
Yep.
Wait a minute.
So he on his way to Arizona. My daughter's, you know, she's playing 12 and under volleyball. She just turned 10. So, like, and I just tell him, like, it doesn't matter about the noise. That's going to happen. It's only about, like, if you love it, go out and practice. If you think you want to, if you fall in love with it, you only can fall in love with the process. Don't worry about the outcome. Fall in love with the process, and that shit will take care of it.
That's a gem right there. And I'm even continuing to try to take that, like, with my brand and with everything I have going, like, you know what I'm saying, fall in love with that process of, like, the creation, you know what I'm saying? Not so much the outcome. The outcome will be there. It's the creation. You got to always want to create new, always keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's for sure a gem.
So super proud of Bronny, man. I know very long-winded when you talk about the kids. I just start thinking about them, but
no,
super proud of his game and where he is today. You know, starting off the G League season was like, you know, just trying to figure it out, and now, shit, like you said last night, 39, and more than anything, when I talked to him, he was more pissed off at the technical free throw that he missed more than anything. Ooh. He's like, I could have had a 40 burger.
Yeah.
He said, I could have had a 40 ball, and I missed that damn technical free throw. So, man, the kid is he's
fire.
He's been fun to watch.
Yeah.
It is, and the story has gotten so loud, and I think that's why, listening to you talk and you say you get long-winded about the kid, it's like, well, that's why everything happened. That happened a couple weeks ago. But, like, you playing with him, obviously was a dream. You said that years ago. Bryce now, though, I mean,
very possible.
That is.
So happy he brought this up. Let's see what he say.
Oh, don't do that to me.
Yeah,
oh,
yeah.
And you said you're 215, nowhere near 280. You're in the best shape.
Exactly.
The best shape you've been in. That conversation's loud about now, about how many more does LeBron James have. I think fans, I think the league, I bet you Adam Silver is wondering the same exact thing because of what you've done for the league, for how long you've done it. That convo pops up every year. Is it for you too, or is it just for outside people?
No, it's popping up more and more every year, because obviously I know I'm on the other side of the hill than the previous side, you know, so I've done this for a long time, and then obviously I know it start like, okay, now you get to the top of that roller coaster, and it's like, okay, when is this damn roller coaster going to go down?
Kennywood, yeah.
You know, like, so I understand that. So I don't know, man. It's all about, for real, for me, it's my mind. If I could continue to, I am all about the process. Like, I am all about the process.
And that's why you fall in love with
if
that.
It gets to the
that
point
longevity
where
within that.
I don't feel like showing up to the arena 5 hours in advance, or I don't feel like training, or I don't feel like studying the scout sheet of guys. Like, if it gets to that point, like, I know, like, you know what, Brian, it's a wrap.
Yeah, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah, you'll be able to tell.
Yeah, you will be personally.
Yeah.
5 hours before the game, you're showing up every day.
Yeah, 7:30 the game. I'm usually there around 2:15.
What do we got? We got a cold tub. We're drinking putting some wine on our
It's
feet.
crazy. Like that's crazy. Year 22, 5 hours before. I bet you his players, rookies, not even doing that.
Sure. What are we doing?
We're doing a little bit of everything for sure. I'm some wine, drink a little wine too.
Oh, I saw you walk into the game. Remember big booze bag?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, guy was walking in with the wine to the game. Yeah, I remember that. Mailed it in. LeBron's quitting, showing up drunk. Everything you do is talked about.
Yeah, I had one former Laker. I wasn't even playing. It was preseason. I had worked out before the game. I wasn't playing in like a former Laker. I was on the bench, eating fruit. I worked out. I had, I got a shower. Let me get out here to watch the guys, support the guys during a preseason game. It was like year fucking 20 for me, probably. Why am I even going out here for a preseason game? But I'm a good guy, and I love my teammates, and I'm a good teammate. So I go out there, and the next day I wake up as a fucking Laker guy to play for the Lakers. I know you guys are going to look this up. It's like,
everybody.
Look this up. That's very selfish, LeBron. Why is he over there eating fruit? What are you doing? He could have did that in the back.
Why are you worried about that, LeBron? Why are you worried about that?
Or he could have had that at home. I'm like, bro, I'm literally just trying to replenish everything I just lost in my workout in the weight room and in the back that you didn't see. But you worried about me about a damn bowl of fruit.
Everything.
You're not
seriously.
You're not being committed is the conversation.
Yeah.
That is LeBron James. This guy's not committed. Not committed.
Like I had a steak and eggs over there or some shit. I don't know, man.
Something to think about.
Delicious. Not a bad idea.
Yeah, that might be next. Give him something to really think about.
Yeah, a little protein in there. Connor, massive
A
Boston
whole steak and eggs, or with your team playing, that would be hilarious.
Celtics fan has a question for you.
Yeah. Who's Boston Celtics fan? Try and get if you can. Who knows? This might not be the year, but looking at the league and looking forward, the big convo is once LeBron is gone, who's the face of the league? Everyone's talking about.
So happy that they got into this. So happy because I do want to hear his opinion on that. Who do he feel is the next face of the league for sure?
Face of the league, as a Celtics fan, of course, I say why doesn't Jason Tatum get more love? But even talking about the future, when for you did you become the face of the league? What year was it? Obviously, right away you're getting talked about as a one name guy. But when did you feel okay, this is officially my league?
Was there a specific jump? So when the league became bronze, I don't know, man, because it's since the beginning of time, it's they kind of gave him the keys. You know what I'm saying? Since not the beginning of time, since the beginning of his time. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
I am taking over this entire thing.
You know what? I never had that notion. And never woke up after I brushed my teeth was this is my league. I'm the face of the league. God damn it.
Shinies up.
I'm gonna shine these up. But I did know there was a responsibility put on me to carry the league in a certain fashion. You gotta think that before I entered the league, and right after MJ retired, after he came back the second or third time, he came back and he was done with Washington. There was a big fan player separation with our league. They just wasn't resonating with a lot of the players, or a lot of guys was didn't really care. Or whatever the case may be. And I felt like in order for, myself to make a name for myself, obviously I knew the play was going to take care of itself because I knew how much I committed to it, but also I wanted to handle the responsibility, of.
I do need to go back and look at who was the players in that league during that time, you know what I'm saying? And why weren't they really able to transcend? And maybe because they knew Brown was coming, possibly.
Showing a face of the league in the sense of a modern citizen, being a role model. It was, we have guys who didn't want to be a role model to the sport, or didn't want to be a role model to the game, didn't want to appreciate the game or commit to the game, and I felt I had an opportunity to not only play the game that I love, but also I wanted fans to follow me. I wanted people to follow my journey, and what came out of that was me kind of being, I guess people say, the face of the league.
Yeah, the Sprite commercials.
You know what I'm saying? So I never went out to be I want to be the face of the league. I seen I see a lot of shit too. like I seen Brian Windhurst on one of these shows not too long ago. Like a clip.
Wendy.
Yeah, you play
Wendy. That's supposed to be your guy, Bron. You know what I'm saying? Brian Windhurst, he always going for you, so I need to hear this.
You guys played together in high school.
Yeah,
right?
St.
He was on your high school
this
team.
guy was like, says he's like my fucking best friend. These guys are just weird, but
Wait,
Wendy. Isn't that that's not real.
Yeah, he was our enforcer, huh?
knew it.
Yeah, he went on his show and said, oh, don't let LeBron fool you. Like, he wears number 23 because of Michael Jordan. Okay, that's a fact. He signed with Nike because of Michael Jordan. It's like, no, the fuck I didn't. I signed with Nike because I got a hell of a signing bonus, and they gave me a 7-year, $90 million.
Dang, hold on. Now, this is crazy because I thought that was like Bron's man. That ESPN for sure put it that way. Man, that's crazy.
Contract. And I moved my mom out of the hood the next day I signed that contract. And ultimately,
90 milli though.
My whole thing is like, what do I want to wear off the court? It's like, I want to wear fucking Nikes. Like, I want to wear Jordans. I want to wear pennies. I want to wear Bo Jacksons. I want to wear Air Maxes. I want to wear
That's the thing with Nike.
So
many
what are we
dope
talking about?
classic silhouettes.
I knew there was a responsibility for sure. Like, listen, man. During the ball drop.
Comment below what company would y'all sign with? What shoe company? I definitely want to see that. Definitely comment below.
During the lottery drop, Cleveland got the number 1 pick. I just don't think that was.
What are you
coincidence,
saying? Don't you think?
Wemby with the Spurs. That wasn't a coincidence.
Oh my God! Let's keep LeBron home. You know what? Patrick Ewing to the Knicks. Derrick Rose to the Bulls. Like, I understand the assignment, guys. I had to make sure that, I had to do my part. I didn't want to be a fuck up. I just didn't want to be a fuck up, man. Like I said earlier in the show, like, no one gets this opportunity, man. It's 0 to none, and I couldn't be a fuck up. So that's what came with it.
You've done a great job representing it all. Do you feel like we are at a phase, though, and you talked about before you got in the league, there was like a potential disconnect between the players and the fans.
Yeah.
Felt like that was almost starting to happen again until, I don't want to say, back half of this season. Feels like most momentum you guys have had in a while. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with that. I think it's all just understanding, from a player perspective. And also, we're getting closer to playoffs.
Oh, yeah.
It's a long-ass season, man.
This season in general has been a very weird season for the NBA. And I felt like it wasn't until like them trades, and they had to do a lot to kind of like, WWE, the fans back for sure until playoff time. Because, we already know the regular season is very rigorous and long, and it ties into the NFL season. You got the MLB, NHL, a lot of sports around it. So, yeah, I can understand the dip-offs.
The difference between us and the NFL, man, there's so much excitement, but it's one game a week, and you get an opportunity to get excited, like when that Sunday, or you got Thursday night games now, and
Monday.
I mean, shit, even occasional Saturday games.
Wednesday.
Christmas. They took Christmas.
They took Christmas from you guys.
Christmas.
This Christmas, Bron was definitely mad about that. I definitely see him say, he loved the NFL, but Christmas is the NBA day, and I believe that Christmas, NFL, Thanksgiving, Christmas, NBA, Thanksgiving, NFL, like. That's what I love for sure. But this streaming services and these platforms, it's going to get crazy.
It's not even fucking Grinch. But no, in all seriousness, it's one game a week, so you the excitement, is there. So, you have us, we just came out of playing 6 games in 8 days. 6 games in 8 days is like, oh man, and 3 sets of back-to-back. So, but the playoffs is on its way. The weather is getting better. The excitement is getting, the crunch time is like, in the West is, you got 4 or 5 teams, 1 or 2 games from behind each other, So I think that's the connection is coming back. Everyone loves it, and now you got March Madness going on in college basketball.
You follow?
So I'm gonna be honest, no, I don't follow, man. I don't do the brackets. I love the sport. I watch occasionally some games, but it's hard watching college basketball for me, man.
Different sport.
Yeah, it's a different
sport.
You guys play? Yeah, it's a different sport from when we play, and every time a kid drives, a kid can just come out of nowhere and slide up underneath him, and it's always a charge. You can't do a Euro step. It's a travel.
Well, Derek Queen, actually, kid from Maryland. I don't know if you saw that.
Gather step. I love it.
DQ B more. Shout out to Maryland. If you're watching this, they played already because they played tonight. So, yeah, I hope they get this win. But definitely shout out to DQ, Derek Queen, man. That was a big time shot. Shout out to Maryland. Anything to DMV, you already know.
Gather 1-2 off glass. Game
You gotta
time.
represent DC all day.
I just don't, you shouldn't need 35 seconds to shoot the damn basketball.
Got it.
It's but it's the game.
I hate 2 halves. Why is that a thing?
Yeah, the only sport, right? The only level.
But women's went to 4 quarters, right? Yeah. What do we want 2 halves for? It's long. It's so. I don't want to watch 1 half.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's too long. It's long.
It's long, and then they got to stack the timeouts because of commercials too. Whenever the gameplay, I think the 4 quarters kind of helps TV as well.
It does. It does, and it helps the players too. Like it's 4 quarters and. It's too long. You get a kid who gets 2 fouls in the first half. He can't play again. He's sitting over there for an hour of real time. It's like you don't want to see your favorite player in college because that's what the game is built on. Like you get your favorite player. Like if Cooper Flagg right now gets 2 fouls in the first half, you're like, I don't want to watch this Duke game anymore.
Do you feel like this next generation? Because Wemby is obviously
he's a stud.
He's unbelievable.
He's unbelievable.
But this is, Joker is.
I definitely want to see just what he think about that Wemby. I hope they get more into that Wemby and man, Ja, just the whole, the new face.
So what? 6'11", whatever it is. KD obviously says he's not 7 foot. Feels like he is.
What did I just say, bruh? It's crazy. I just said the same thing.
He's always taller than everybody at the All-Star Weekend photos for some odd reason.
But
come on,
he
now, don't get mad at me.
Whenever he came into the league, and I think Dirk also big shooter, but the tall, multifaceted player is the next generation, right?
Yeah, that's their inspiration. Their inspiration is Dirk. Their inspiration is KD. Their inspiration are those guys who you look at KD, 6'9" to 7 foot, depending on what he wants to tell you. That great handle, the smoothness, the be able to, shoot off the dribble and also be able to catch and shoot and be able to look silky smooth out there while being the tallest guy on the court.
And they're doing koozie stuff.
Exactly.
Somehow, I don't know how they're doing.
No,
I don't know how they're doing.
So
I've been
KD
mentioning Koozie all episode.
Big as KD's
one of the great whites.
Inspiration to guys like Wemby, to guys like Cooper Flagg, who's coming in. You have a lot of these guys. So
Chet has
Cooper.
This Derek Queen kid, 6'10".
Yeah,
6'10". He's in the. I don't know if you heard about him saying, "Give me the motherfucking ball."
Yeah, I'm from Baltimore.
Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic.
I'm from Baltimore. One of my best friends from Baltimore, Carmelo Anthony. So I get it. I get it. Give me the damn ball.
Legend. So happy that they're talking about him so much. Shout out to Pat.
The ball.
That's what I told him in the conversation. I was like, Baltimore is one of the cities
that's Angel
where
Reese,
if you give an
brother.
answer on why are you a confident human, I'm from Baltimore. Everybody's like, oh, okay. Yeah,
there's no follow-up question to that. Okay, got it. I got it.
Shout out to B-More, man.
So obviously, you could play another 10 years if you really wanted to. I mean, it really does seem like that. But as you've gotten older, you have all this other shit off the court. You have the production studio, the podcast, all that kind of stuff that you're doing, all these different business ventures. How hard is it focusing on a lot of that stuff and not letting everything you have to do basketball-wise kind of suffer? Because you don't seem like the kind of guy where it's like you're going to start a production studio and just be like, fuck it, you guys handle everything. I'll attach my name to it. But how difficult is that balancing those two? Because this is obviously some stuff that you seem like you're passionate about.
Yeah, for sure. I definitely got some great people in place. My right-hand man, Maverick Carter, he's unbelievable.
That's the man right there.
Dog, huh?
He's a
Rich
dog.
Paul and Mav, like I said.
The greatest thing about him is his ability
Randy,
to,
right-hand
create relationships that last long. And we've never been just one-off guys. We want to be able to create partnerships, and not endorsement deals. That was a thing of the past. That was something that we didn't want to do. So the trust that I have with him, I allow him because of shit I've been knowing him my whole life. And when you have that type of chemistry and you have that type of brotherhood and that type of trust, you allow him to do it. But also he's always checking in with me hey, listen, this is what we have going down the pipeline, yay or nay. This is why I feel it would be beneficial to us, but ultimately, do you want to do it or not? So in this instance, I got to the point where, you brought that up and why I started, the podcast Mind the Game with JJ. last year. It was like there was a looseness of the sport being covered and how the sport should be covered. It had got away from the essence of the game of basketball, of why I fell in love with the game.
I agree with that, but then in the sense that sometimes, like LeBron, just say you started it because you wanted to start a podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always that deeper meaning.
I teach the younger generation the game, why I am in the position, that I am in, and we have that conversation. Me and Matt was like, okay, I got what you're saying. Okay, let me go figure it out, and he goes to figure it out. So,
I learned so much from that show. I legitimately did. Now, obviously, looking back on it, it was just you interviewing JJ Redick, Lakers, that entire thing. But I assumed JJ was going to become a head coach after that show, regardless. Because the way you guys talked about it, to your point about never hearing it be discussed like that, legitimately, as a football person, as another sport person, never played basketball, whenever you guys were drawing up plays and like why you do this and debating on how to cover and all that, I felt like I got smarter as a basketball fan. So first of all, I'd like to thank you for that alongside JJ.
That.
And also,
if y'all
congratulations.
didn't catch that, I would definitely catch that. That was a really, really dope pod. That was a really dope pod between them two.
Season 2, Mind the Game.
Season 2.
Wow, it's back.
I haven't clapped all night, but I'm going to clap on that. Yes, sir. Season 2, man.
With?
Steve Nash, man.
Wow. Okay.
The great Steve Nash, man.
So he's been a coach before, obviously, and obviously he's played a long time in the NBA. Yes. I had one chance to interview Steve Nash, and I learned about him in real time. And I think he played a lot of years.
Yeah, for sure. Legend.
For sure, legend. For sure, legend. But there was some things that came about Steve Nash, man, that I was like, damn, man. And I felt so bad, man. But shout out to Steve Nash for sure. For sure, Canadian legend.
Let's see, whatever the years
MVP,
are. I looked at him and I said, you played blank amount of years? And he goes, yeah. I go, holy shit, man. Yeah. I literally learned it in real time. Legend out there.
Absolutely.
But also loves the game, obsessed with the game, which feels like why it could potentially be a great fit for season 2 of Mind the Game.
No, absolutely. We're looking forward to it, man. We got an episode, 2 episodes in the bank. We're going to get a couple more soon, and we're going to just like continue to preach the game, how it's supposed to be taught, how it's supposed to be viewed. And, we understand that, some of the other things is going to be said, it sells for them. But, what we've grown to love, why me and JJ did it in the first place, why me and Steve are doing it now, is because this is how we grew up loving the game. This is what brought us together. This is what the essence of the game should be talked to not only the generation that's playing now, but the generation that's going to come up after us. So, Mind the Game season 2 coming, y'all, man.
Can't wait. Congratulations.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Can we talk about a couple things real quick that we have to cover?
Absolutely.
Taco Tuesday, you saw that?
Taco Tuesday.
Is that real?
It's today Tuesday.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, today is Tuesday.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness. Tuesday.
That was quite a situation. Barbershop, another one.
Oh, yeah, man, the shop. Oh, yeah. I grew up in it. That was easy. That was another easy one, man.
The shop is definitely a dope show, too, for sure. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Matt Hoffa. There's a lot of similarities with his pod and, LeBron. But for sure, the shop is definitely a dope show. And they be having some crazy guests on there. Like, I know that budget is able for them to do that. But I like what they got going over there with Uninterrupted, for sure.
Like, too many conversations that's going on right now that's not the essence. It's not the essence. Man, I remember getting dropped off as a 5-year-old. Mom dropped you off. She go do what the hell she had to go do, make her errands. She talked to the guy that's cutting your hair. How many he's behind? About 3 or 4. Okay, about 3 hours. Shit, being there about 3 hours, and I gotta wait there and sit there and wait my turn. And in that moment, that's when you hear everything. You start hearing about the best MC that's going on right now, the best hair product, the best beer.
I do miss the barbershop being like the spot. I do miss that because I grew up in that too. I do miss that for sure.
Oil, the best people in sports, your music. It is everything.
Drama.
Everything.
Yeah.
Every single thing goes on in a barbershop. So, for us to be able to create that platform, the shop, to be able to bring on all the beautiful minds that we've brought onto the shop, men and women, has been it's been a pleasure, it's been an honor, and we keeping that thing going, man, because it's like it's a comfort place. I went to the barbershop from when I was like 5 all the way through high school, and to be able to have that sense of like truth. It's the one place of truth where you can go out there and be like, this is who I like. All right, that's who you like, and we're going to fight to the battle about it. And it'll be a new topic the next day. And
that's for sure true.
It's pretty cool.
You guys did a couple watch-alongs too for Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, man. Oh, that was dope. I mean, you guys know my love for the sport of football. So to be able to do that.
You wouldn't be able to take a shot though, remember?
Yeah, couldn't play.
6'9", 250 pounds, wouldn't be able to handle football.
Yeah, man. A lot of, I wouldn't be allowed to do a lot of things, they say.
Would y'all want to see LeBron on the football field, though? Real talk. Really, I want to see.
High school highlights up there versus Benedictine. That's where Rich Paul went to high school, by the way. Yeah. I was playing against Rich Paul High School there.
One of the greatest American hustlers of all time.
Yeah, for sure.
Legit. I think the record will state that Rich Paul may be one of the greatest hustlers of all time. You're from Ohio, so obviously football state.
Yeah, Pat.
Obviously basketball as well.
More than a hustler, like businessman. Put some respect on it.
You love the game. I think you've talked openly about how much you love ball.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Football was my first sport, man, my first love. I grew up big-time, prime-time Deion Sanders fan. Big-time Eric Metcalf fan, too. Growing up in Akron and seeing him up in Cleveland, seeing Eric Metcalf do his thing up there, too, man. Seattle's finest, Eric Metcalf. And, just grew up just always loving the sport, man. Seeing, Jerry Rice and seeing some of the old clips of Walter Payton.
Naming the legends right there.
Seeing Barry Sanders. That was another topic of conversation in the barbershop. Barry Sanders versus Emmitt Smith.
Oh yeah.
So you hear that conversation. So I remember my mom buying me a pair of Barry Sanders sneakers. I was like, oh man.
It felt so quick.
Yeah, I felt so quick.
Yeah.
Elusive
as shit.
They was like, I don't know if they was one of the first teams. Obviously, I don't know that for a fact, but seeing Barry Sanders on turf, wearing sneakers, that was super cool as a kid. So, yeah, it's a great sport. I mean, I love it. I love football, and I love the new guys now. They're super cool. My favorite guy, Derrick Henry, without seeing Saquon out there, and I got guys wearing my shoes now.
Yeah.
When Saquon did that move where he turned backwards and did a pirouette backwards and jumped up in the air and he had my kicks on. I was like, oh my goodness.
Oh, I didn't know those were yours. They were sick.
Yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, he had
the
LeBron retro fours on in a spike. When he did that,
I have these too, not that colorway. I have an original colorway. I'm gonna start showing off my shoe collection too, man, because it's crazy.
Nasty.
Oh my goodness.
Those are in the Bronx.
That was crazy.
Yes. Yeah, I was super, I was going crazy. I was like, I couldn't believe it.
I didn't even know that.
So, I love it.
Okay, let's talk about something else that we have to address. The Olympics. You saw your eyes blink sideways. What was that all about? What was that? What the fuck was that? Hey, I need to know what happened. Is that always happen? Your eyes always blink like that, or is that just at the Olympics?
I don't know. That was probably my Michael Jackson Thriller video moment. When he went from he kind of turned into that beast of his. I don't know, man. I saw that and it kind of freaked me out too.
Yeah, okay.
I missed that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so you also saw it.
Terrible.
You also saw it and thought the same thing everybody else did. Okay.
Yeah, there was people like, oh my God, he's actually there in Paris and he may be at his home in California at the same time.
This guy's not a human.
Yeah, this guy's not human.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah.
That was a real conversation that was happening.
Oh yeah.
And I watched it a couple times. I was like,
hold on.
I'll tell you what.
I mean, I can't sit here and say that it was not real, was not real.
Okay.
We just leave it at that.
Okay.
We just leave it at that.
Fair enough.
Okay, when you think about the rest of the season and you think about this Lakers team, you guys will have success if what?
Wow.
Here we go. Now here's the big question. I definitely want to see what he say about this.
Well, obviously we could go without saying any team. Health. Health. That's the most important for our team. We are not in a position where we can afford anybody to go down. And then after that, Luka, myself, and AR-15, we got to be all clicking at the same time. And we know there's going to be games where, that happens throughout the course of a playoff game where, I may not be making my shots or whatever, or AR's not making his shots, or Luka might not be making his shots. But as far when I say clicking, we have to be in tune on what we got to do every single night because we got to make sure everybody's in the right place.
For sure.
Every single game. The playoffs is literally one possession to have you losing a series. One possession can make you lose a series, and it's up to us three. Obviously I know my voice and what I command out of guys, that's going to be heard. Luka's play, some people lead by example, and the way AR, his affections play, we have to make sure we have everybody in tune, and because we know that our coaching staff going to give us the game plan. JJ's not going to send us out there on a wild goose chase. Mm-hmm. Nope, we're gonna be. He and his coaching staff. They're gonna make sure we know what the hell we need to do in order to get the job done, and then it's up to us to go get it done.
You guys are a mind.
I like that right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right.
You guys are a mind the game.
Always do.
For sure.
Season 2, Steve.
Season 2.
Available soon. Hey, we can't thank you enough for stopping by.
Bron,
yeah,
man.
Dude, legitimately.
This was
man.
Awesome.
You boys over there, man.
I didn't know we were snapping after. I feel like I missed it.
Yeah, when I found out you was a Celtic fan, I thought you were gonna throw a beer on me. Like what happened?
What is that? Is that what's the?
Yeah, after I went for 45 in there, that threw a beer on me on the way out.
I mean, if you're still in the Heat, that's still a problem. But I also do have one kind of mythological, whatever the word is, question. You don't read those fucking books before the games, right? All those books.
Yeah, we need to talk about that.
You open it to the first page, and then you don't read those fucking books ever again. Great role model.
Listen. I actually have finished those books. Oh, hold on.
Like if you were to hold this.
Hold on.
People say you would say you read it.
Mm-hmm. This is how.
That's the art of winning.
Someone take a photo.
All right, take the photo, please. Pat, take the photo.
Yeah, we got it. I'll take it from this angle.
You probably read Rich's book.
We got it.
The first page.
Wow, holy shit. Bron read it.
And then that's it.
That's it. I didn't even talk to you guys this whole time I was up here. All I did was read the whole book.
Like Meteor Man.
That's it. Meteor Man.
Everybody might not know that movie, but
it's a
that's
classic,
a classic right there.
It's a classic.
So you get talk about the books, the music. Music's another thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Books,
you see the future.
Y'all go watch Meteor Man if y'all never watched that, man. Y'all gotta watch that for sure. Black classic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Acting,
yeah, everything.
Who's next in the music world if you had to give a prediction?
Wow.
I like that.
We've heard you say, when I heard this guy, I knew.
You know what? I don't know, man. I don't know. That's a good question. I literally go to when it comes to like the new generation now, this is the best thing about having teenagers as well. You can literally go to them and get the whole
the scoop.
Yeah, the scoop. But I don't know, man. I don't know who's next up. But I do love music.
I mean, yeah.
But I'm definitely.
You talking rap specifically?
I got ready for the game yesterday, listening to Eric B and Rakim, man. Like, I'm an old school guy too, so. But we'll see.
Music and sports go hand in hand.
For sure.
So much.
No, for sure.
And,
no question about it.
I just feel like music in a weird place anyway.
Something that people have chatted
hard to
about.
answer
I
that.
appreciate it, man.
Hey, you mind the music as well.
That's right.
And you mind the books. Do you mind the game?
Mind the tacos.
Yep.
Yeah,
Tuesdays only on
mind the movies.
Yeah, mind the
As
movie.
long as they don't take away my mind the cookies, we'll be fine.
dang.
Pat Riley said,
Damn it,
"Fuck
Rob.
the cookies."
Yeah, we be fine.
The Heatles are done.
Still love.
Got the last
The
one.
Heatles are
We'll
done.
be back.
This guy doesn't have any fucking cookies.
It's over.
It's over with,
Still
man.
got Spo. We still got the look. We good.
I don't know. People are saying the D Wade Kerr statue is now carrying on forever.
It's a bad statue.
I haven't
bad
seen it
statue.
yet. Oh, well, in person.
You don't want to.
I've seen it. I've seen it on. Yeah,
No.
I love my guy.
Hey, when you get your statue done, just let's make sure it's a good one.
Yeah, check it
Because
before.
there's
I'm not going to
some
unveil it
ass
to the
ones.
world.
What do you mean?
Got to.
That's what a fucking statue is. man.
No, fuck that. No.
You're gonna put it in your bed?
If I need to see it multiple times,
Before we let it out.
yes.
Because if not, that'll happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
mean,
That's some
Wade
honesty
saw
right
his,
there for
he
Yeah,
sure.
he said he saw it. He liked it.
Yeah, but I
That
think
Dwayne Wade statue, oh boy.
he was just sticking up for the person.
Yeah, him and his son
Artistic expression.
Good
looked
teammate.
like they didn't like it.
Yeah, he's a good teammate.
I remember that moment. Though.
And that little ass statue that they did for AI 2 up Philly. Come on, dog. Oh, look what they just brung up.
Yeah, when he stood on the table. Well, if he, yeah,
my shit.
yeah.
All right, LeBron, we appreciate you.
That's
Ladies and
hilarious, dog.
Yeah, okay, we're clapping. I like
No, I'm
it.
clapping for y'all.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I'm clapping for y'all, man.
LeBron James. Hold on.
I'm clapping for y'all, man. I'm clapping for y'all, man.
Yeah, we're snapping.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that, man.
You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, LeBron James. All right, that was obviously an incredible honor to get a chance to chit-chat with LeBron. I hope you had a chance to learn some things.
Shout out to Pat McAfee. Shout out to LeBron. That was over an hour of just some real intel, information. Now, I watched some stuff with Stephen A. before this interview, and I'm glad I did wind up watching this interview because Stephen A. definitely is sicing up some stuff too. And I feel like the sitting on the couch eating the ice cream in his tidy whitey comment is what really pissed him off. I'm talking about Stephen A. But for the most part, yeah, man, this was really, really dope and insightful. And it's cool seeing players get towards the end of their careers and get more comfortable with the media and talking and stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to this stage of Bron as he continues, just being one of the GOATs, man, for sure. So it's the wave, man. Definitely continue to like and subscribe, comment some moments at the bottom. Let's really start some threads, man. Let's really start some conversations. And yeah, we're going to catch you on the next one. It's the wave, and we out.